It made me feel better in the same way like working out makes me feel better.
Nice.
Like I get it, but it doesn't mean I want to.
May this next podcast episode be filled with love, joy, fulfillment, creative expression. May everything and everyone be spoken of with love. May this go on to benefit our professional and personal lives. And may we just have one good heck of a time in creative conversation.
Who are you talking to?
And so it is. The universe. We usually don't add this part.
Yeah. We're
should. Are you not recording yet?
We are recording, but usually I cut it.
Why? Why would you cut it?
Okay, I'll keep
People
it.
should know your intention. I want to know who you're talking to. Do you know who you're talking to, or is it just more like stating it so you know?
Great question. I guess in my belief of this experience, I feel like you can speak intention into life without specifics.
I see.
So I'm kind of just programming my experience by offering an intention. I guess I'm speaking to myself.
Do you hear the radio right now?
Yeah.
Bruh, someone spoke back.
Welcome to Disciplined Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness.
To think that we started this podcast to fight a stigma, only to uncover so much love that we realized that you can't put your energy anywhere but what you want.
Look deeper. Feel more. Tune in.
So much love. The Disciplined Stoners,
We're not here to distract ourselves.
the gateway drug to mindfulness.
We're here to learn. We're here to grow.
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today...
222 times y'all have done that, and you are locked in. Cadence on point.
Yeah, except last time we fucked up hard. We couldn't get it.
It sounded like you were vocal lined. There's this program, I've probably used this in your music career.
Yes, sir.
Where you can just like lock vocals to other vocals. It saves so much time, and it sounded like y'all just did that on your intro.
Oh my God, that is the best
We're
compliment
the
we
app.
could possibly have.
We made that app.
Okay. Today's guest, I have to say, is a golden shining star of Toronto talent.
Not just because of the ginger.
Not just because of the ginger. It's because...
But a little bit because of the ginger.
A little bit. It helps with it. It helps
Golden.
with the whole thing. The golden radiantness.
Tangibly.
Also aligning with his soul and spirit of a creative. It has been an honor to see this guy build his career. He is one of the most present and peaceful-hearted folks I think I've had the pleasure of crossing paths with. I'm going to toss the rest of this to Winnie.
Our next guest is also a Grammy-nominated musician, songwriter, singer, with over 7 million monthly Spotify followers. Okay. Also, kind, generous human being. Please put your joints up for JP Saxe!
You know, there's a direct correlation between the joy I feel with 7 million listeners and the joy I felt with 12 million listeners. I'm like almost half less happy.
That can't be true.
But alternatively, I recently became a 2-time Grammy-nominated songwriter, which makes me double as valid as a person. Ooh. And this one was a Latin Grammy nomination, so I'm valid in 2 languages.
Can I tell you, because he said his intro, and when I told him my intro this morning, he's like, JP's too humble for this. He's going to call it out, and I don't think you should do it. That's what he said. And I was like, no. Think about any other podcast.
No. The humility was just me having to find a way to remind the listeners in a self-deprecating fashion that it used to be 14 million. You have me on for the come down.
No.
Dude.
You caught me on the come down.
Listen.
I disagree.
I just want to snap to a moment before I gush on you and you further push it away because you're too humble and how amazing you are. But there was this great moment that before you any of that, I knew there's special mind in your body. You were like 20 maybe, and I was like 23. He's younger than me. He's my young OG.
You were born in 90?
89, almost 90, a week away from 90. And
almost 90.
Almost 90, I'm just going to say.
Counts.
It's closer to 90 than 89, but yeah. We were all sitting on the floor of Regal Road, I think. And like I think we were all just kind of like jamming. Like Donnie Milwaukee was there, like Christian Bridges, like Eric Schreiber, like all these vibes. And you just turned to me and you were like, and by then I don't think I went full time Ellevan. You were like, Evan, I appreciate you. Like you were like, you've seen me like as an artist, and you just said a simple, kind word, something like that. But to be younger than me and identify and exchange and communicate in such a present way that really was like unseemingly like nothing in passing, for you to be, I was like, fuck, that's like a sensitive soul. Like you don't have to try. What I was learning as a songwriter during that time, it's like you were naturally present in the moment and able to communicate from a time when you were younger. So I say to Winnie sometimes when I see all that you've achieved and those like stats that I'm also think are not, but they're whatever, they're measurements. Your time from that snap moment of me knowing you to see and rise and then all this cool stuff that you've been through, to have being that person inside of that vessel going through all this evolution, change, and strides forward, I'm just so curious how this has been for you. Knowing you from then, that grounded, sensitive young man that's like seriously miles ahead of like most folks around us, like just like not only musically, but like as a person, like, and then to go through what you've gone through, like fucking spill it on me, bro. Like,
Yeah, I was way nicer back then. I was so much kinder when I was into the hippie shit and in that like collective
That was a vibe.
consciousness house.
Yes.
Yeah, that was before I just realized how dark it was and everyone was fucking each other and deeply dishonest.
You moved to the States?
No,
I'm
I mean
just-
like in that hippie shit environment.
In that hippie shit environment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I became I think I'm in my post-cynicism era. That's in my pre-cynicism era.
Fair.
I hate that even using the terminology, but there was like there was a point in time where I was deep in the identifying. That was I'm identifying with the things that I really aspire to. You know, I aspire to kindness. I aspire to like making people feel empowered, and then I got super off that.
Yeah.
And then I felt like I found my identity in the things I disliked.
Okay.
So I'm not the kind of guy who does that. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't fuck with this, who doesn't fuck with this.
Okay.
And then I realized that was like a unsustainable way to derive my character because it was only about the things I was pushing away and not the things I was taking in.
Dude, that resistance, because what you resist persists too, right?
For sure.
You manifest more of what you fear equally as what you love.
Yeah, and now I'm just trying to be curious again.
You mentioned that with TJ.
With TJ, the best man in the world.
Amazing.
World's best
Amazing.
human.
Shout out.
Amazing guitar player. You guys have been friends since high school.
I would say on the list of things that I think makes TJ extraordinary, I'd put guitar at like 19.
See, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's about the person.
Yeah, at this point, I honestly think his creativity via me might be better than his creativity by guitar. And he's the best guitar player I know. Well, he's one of the best guitar players I know.
He's an extremely good
There's
guitar
one
player.
guitar player I know that TJ wouldn't find it offensive for me to suggest might be like,
Is he from Toronto?
no,
Of course, TJ wouldn't.
no.
He would
No, I
never
don't
hold
think
that
he'd find
against
it
you.
offensive.
I went on tour with this guitar player who's like,
Sick.
yeah.
Well, that works. Well, that feels good.
Yeah.
But now TJ has been joining you, right? Mm-hmm. So you're bringing the home team with you, and literally your crew that goes with you on the road is your home team. You guys share a home.
We did a bunch of tours last year because tour number one, I'm being like unnecessarily coy. Tour number one was with John Mayer. That's the guitar player who I also know.
Okay, let's
and
not.
then-
That's okay. Yep, perfect.
And then tour number two was TJ. So great guitar players on the tour, although John wasn't in my band. He did once play with me though.
dude, I love that. When I seen you and John, we are huge John fans.
Yeah, how could you not be?
How could you not be?
I mean, no, how could you not be?
How could you not be? Even the song you did with Kanye West, remember that?
What?
Hennessy. You remember that?
I think I missed it.
It's gonna be the death of me. I'll send it to you.
Okay, please do.
But when I seen that click, I was like, fuck yes. Like, oh my God, the universe has aligned in perfect proportion. Because that is like your music, and I'm sure you guys vibe as people, but like it makes such perfect sense. I was like, that's as if I was on tour with Eminem. I felt so good. Like you guys are so connected in like an atmosphere of.
He's such a nurturing man. Very, very kind.
Was that sick to like create with him?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
holy
fucking
shit.
awesome. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. No notes on that experience.
Bless,
I would
just
I would
awesome.
change nothing about that.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I want to go to the presence thing, because are you joking when you say you don't lead with kindness anymore? Are you?
I think I might just lean with like trying to be like whatever sincerity feels like in the current moment.
Okay.
Hopefully it's kindness.
Yeah. And what happens when it's not and that feels sincere?
Like what happens when being sincere doesn't mean being
Translate,
kind?
yeah.
Then I'm not kind. Because, I don't know, I would rather be sincere than kind. But I think it's usually sincere to be kind.
And it's kind to be sincere.
I get in an argument with people about having to say some controversial shit in your podcast.
Let's
Yeah.
I get in arguments with people sometimes when they say Canadians are nice.
go. Because we're just passive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very agreeable.
And I'm not sure that's nice. I think it's like not about how we want to make someone else feel. It's about how we want someone else to feel about us.
Oh,
Ooh,
boy.
it's presentatious and manipulative.
Presentatious is a strong word, Evan.
Sorry, but would you?
No,
agree?
Why are you apologizing? I
No.
love words.
Oh fuck! See, I just did it.
I think we should.
I said sorry. Like a
presentatious. No, that one's fine.
Okay.
Apologize for yourself. You should. Yeah, I think we should be allowed to make up words like presentatious, because like other humans made up words, so why shouldn't we? They're all made up by
Bling.
some people. What gives them more of a right than us?
Bling bling.
Do you-
Indeed.
Do you think being passive is part of Canadian culture at this point?
I have no idea. I think Canadian culture is a jillion different things, so I'm not entirely sure. But I think the kindness that people are referring to is more of a fear of offense than it is a genuine desire to make someone feel welcome.
Ooh. Oh. And why?
But I'm only talking shit about Canada because we're in Canada. When I'm in the States, I speak very highly of us.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
represent.
And I talk shit about the States. I'll talk shit about the States anywhere.
Yeah. But also, there's lots of good things about the States.
There are good things.
Yeah.
There's good things about lots of places.
That's true.
so
There's good things about all the places.
that's true.
Every
there is.
place.
Every place has good things.
And good people.
Yeah, every place has good things. Definitely every place has good people.
Yeah.
Do you think that you've gotten more present as your career has evolved? Or do you think this is something that you were saying you've always carried with you?
I am not sure I necessarily feel the presence that you are ascribing to me. But I would
Okay.
love to. I think sometimes the ability to communicate effectively in a scenario is being somewhat disconnected from it, because you can look at it in a way that you allow yourself to see it and communicate looking at it. I think that almost requires a disconnection.
Ooh.
Are you hearing the K-pop right now at all?
It comes and goes.
Comes and goes.
It sounds like minorly Morse code.
Yeah, it does.
Are they going to hear that on the recording, or is that just us?
It's just
That's
us.
just us.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
nice.
a playback. Yes.
I'm okay with problems for myself. Problems for others we'd have to fix.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, so like that's so fun. You're such a beautiful ride intellectually.
Thanks. Do we not say Evan anymore? Is your name Ellevan now?
Yeah, that's kind of what I go by
Yeah,
full
you kind of
time.
mentioned that. I'm sorry I dead named you.
Oh, and you even get that term. I used that term the other day.
I'm a very performative progressive.
So good. And like spot on. I appreciate you, but there is this level of, I would consider you godfathered in, Om from Rise, Paul. We hang out a lot. He calls me Evan now and again by accident, and I'm like, yeah, you're dead naming me, bro. Because my new community, like, say with him weed, like, they don't know that at all.
I see.
But you are part of that godfathered in, if you
I'll
wish.
call you whatever you want.
Appreciate you. Anything north of asshole is fantastic with me.
I am so happy to call anyone exactly what they want to be called.
That's so beautiful, man. I appreciate you. Okay, so I definitely want to explore this like personal sensitivity that you live with, and that's an incredible thing. But you've put in so much time with music, man, that I feel like it'd be silly not to dive into a little bit of that, like developing yourself as an artist, and just like building your skills. And oh yeah, by the way, thanks for an awesome pal of a pops you got.
I had nothing to do with him. He's responsible for me. I'm not responsible for him. For those of you who don't know, we are in my dad's home right now. They filmed this podcast in my dad's art gallery.
Yep, that's so true.
Shout out Meta Milky Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, he's been on the show. And yeah, so like,
Do people call you Rob?
is that cool?
What do you call him?
Dad?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna call
But
him.
I always assumed you were more of a Robert than a Rob.
you know,
Bob?
Uncle Bobby?
That's a good one. Bob is a fun name. Bob is like an old name, but like in a good way. I feel like Bob might come back.
Do you like, I call you Robbie sometimes, but I never asked your permission.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Saxe. But yeah, I remember like supermarket days, like, you know, we're performing, Christian was performing, all this cool stuff, and Rob was always there with his camera, and he'd always like hook up the artist with photos. And I was like, oh my God, that's so valuable.
Photo by Saxe. Christian's got 2 children now.
I know, him and, you know, it's so beautiful. They're beautiful. Where's I going with that? And it was giving me that. No, not at all. I love that. It's so funny. It used to be like, hey, that's JP's dad. Now it's like, this is Rob's son. I probably hung out with your dad more than you now.
I love it.
So sick, dude. Just blazing.
You've always been an insane songwriter. Like I've only met you a handful of times, like through when we were younger, but like listening to your music always made me cry and like still makes me cry.
Yeah.
Crying is my favorite clapping.
Oh, well, I do a lot of clapping then for
Thank
you.
you.
But you've always been a sincere and authentic songwriter. And I wonder if you feel that you feel more than most.
No, I feel less than most, and therefore I need to find ways to represent the way I feel in something outside of myself so I can then look at it and say, oh yeah, that's how I feel.
So self-aware.
What? Do you go to therapy?
Of course.
Nice. Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
I'm trying to be fuckable. Of course I go to therapy.
You
Yeah.
can't not have self-awareness. It's a priority now, and I kind of love that.
Do you think you're selfish?
Yeah, hopefully, like when I'm living in the correct, or at least my most ideal way, I think I'm selfish.
Please, can you expand on that anymore?
I mean, I think it's so much easier to be like, okay, what do other people need me to be? How can I be that? If I can be that, then I feel purposeful and like I'm existing at least in service of something that I see as valuable, and then you can fall asleep at night. But it's just so much easier to recognize who you can be for someone else than it is to recognize who you're trying to be for yourself. And I think an imbalance of either probably makes for a ultimately unfulfilling life.
Do you believe in balance?
Yes.
Do you think it's achievable?
I think the pursuit of it is achievable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like balance is something you get to. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I feel the most myself when I'm imbalanced. So does that mean like imbalance is where I should be? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You feel the most yourself when you're imbalanced?
Yes.
Okay. Because you have to be decisive.
Yeah, and it's like when shit's going wrong, I'm like, I feel more alive in it.
Ooh.
That's a beautiful, like, what, you have always been wise. Like, it's all coming back to me now. I've always been kind of, like, blown away by how calm you are with, like, mega statements for people. Like, everything that you've said already
Is a bar.
is a bit mind-blowing. I think it's those things where you have to stop, rewind, listen to it again to really take it in. But it's kind of just, like, rolling off you, and it always has.
It's natural. Which
And
is
I
sick.
wonder where that
This
comes
is why
from.
I gotta get high to go to sleep. Because my brain is it's so exhausting. It's exhausting, Winnie. The things that, like, like I can't think and go to sleep. So that's why, like, I appreciate the theme of us being stoned on your podcast, but if I would just be such a bad interview. I have 3 modes when high. I told you this. I can either sleep, snack, sex. Those are the 3 things I want when high.
Those are
That's
all
what your
great
body
things.
craves, and it's
Despite being
delicious.
in the middle of you two, I just don't think any of those things are on the table for
Snack.
Yeah.
We could all
was on the
snack
table. I'm
together.
drinking my snack coffee.
I want to make a lot of inappropriate jokes right now.
I don't know,
But
it was inferred.
that.
I pushed it to the line, but if you'd like to give us a sense of imbalance, I have expressed an interest in balance.
I'm sorry, I just to the music stuff. You've put in so many times, much time. I'm gonna just pivot back to this, bro. Hold on, we keep going down this rabbit hole, I feel like. But you grew up around art.
Yeah.
And I find that really fascinating. I know that we're all, kind of blessed with our own mental gifts. But that nurture versus nature conversation, you honestly, selfishly, through my perspective of like seeing you and then meeting your dad, have been like an incredible case study of just like the human condition of nature versus nurture. Meaning, like, I believe you're a very communicative, expressive artist, and I think as a songwriter myself, I admire that, and I know like it has to be natural and it can't be faked. And I think when your brain is given ideas and concepts to expand your perspective on life, that benefits you. So like I've heard it a little bit from your pop's perspective of doing art shows and you helping be a part of them, like when you were a kid and like just being around that, and like how was that growing up, like with that sort of influence around? Do you think that added to the momentum of you believing yourself as a musician? Or helped you in some way? Like,
yeah, I was so bad at everything else. I do think there are obviously elements of my upbringing that made it seem less life-ruining to be an artist. Mainly my maternal grandfather, because he was a successful cellist. So there was an element of you can be an artist and not ruin your life.
Not struggle so hard and eat only craft dinner for all your
Right.
life.
I'm sure my parents a little bit thought that could still happen. And, you know, my dad always loved artists. So yeah, I think there was the blessing of it not seeming so fucking foreign.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for a lot of artists who don't grow up in families of it, it's like, wait, what? But like, how does that make money?
Right. That's what, we
And
get, like, when you get stuff with that sort.
The misguided thinking on the how does it make money question is artists don't make money by thinking about how to make money.
Oh, my bar.
So if you're too caught up, so if your parents or your family or whoever around you is like imposing this, but how's it going to make money? How's it going to make money perspective? It's such a barrier. They're actually like really hindering your ability to make money by making you think about it so much. So fuck off.
That's exactly it. Thank you so much. From the lips of someone who's walked the path, and yeah, I do consider it a bit of a privilege to definitely have that insight into like belief, because so much of it, how people perform or what they pursue in their life and their fulfillment, is so based on I think what they believe they can do, and I know that like.
Can I stop you on that? I have a thought on that.
I'm sorry, please.
You cannot do the things you're going to do. You can't right now. Like, you can't do the things that you're going to do. It's a misguided way of thinking, too. Like, the things that you're going to do, you can't do yet. So if you think you're not going to do them because you can't do them, you're right, you can't do them. But, like, you will.
Because you'll learn the tools along the way.
Right, exactly. I couldn't do the things I did 2 years ago, 4 years ago. So if someone had been like, you can't do that, I would have been like, you're right, but I will.
So you're patient.
Also, just to that same kind of like similar logic, it's like trying to make art for the world the way you see it right now. Because it takes time to make the art the way you want to make it. So if you're trying to make art for the world as it is, by the time you finished it, the world won't be that way anymore and it won't be relevant. That's why trying to aim for the taste of the world as the way you see it around you is dysfunctional, because it's not going to be there by the time you finish it. So make art to your own taste. Make art for the world you want to see. Make art that you would want to experience, and maybe the world just happens to move towards you.
So that belief that your art can have an impact and you can magnetize a message because you're drawing from something that's real.
Yeah, it's like trying to be relatable is also dumb. Like, you're a human. Of course you're relatable.
Yo, right?
And just be a person. Like, it was such a revelation for me when I realized that what made me effective as an artist was not what made me unique, but what made me very basic. Because if I can just speak to what it feels like to be myself, I'm a basic bitch, and other people are going to also resonate with that because other people aren't having an experience so dramatically different than mine.
Yeah.
So as long as it feels like mine, it's going to feel like other people's too.
Facts.
If I try and make it feel like other people's, I have so much less information about them. How am I supposed to represent what they're feeling? I don't know what they're feeling, but I know what I'm feeling, and it's likely what they're feeling similar to what I'm feeling.
Yes. That's so profound and beautiful. Not try to reach, but just focus on what you know, which is your own experience only, and it reflects in your writing and the things that you say in song lyrics, like Well, like, what was the one that we were listening to today? Like, if we fall out of love, do we still call it that? Is that right?
The good parts? Is that
I think
that
you're
one?
talking about if love ends. Is that
Oh,
not
it-
what we call it anymore?
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah.
Like, that's such a profound thought. I would have to smoke so much weed to think of that. like that's so sick that you're able
I
to.
have an answer to that though. I mean, I'm asking like slightly like rhetorically.
Right.
If love ends, is that not what we call it anymore? I would go with yes. You should still call it that because love just does end, either in death or in any other number of things. But
I agree.
It was love fully and wholeheartedly in that moment.
I don't think the validity of love is necessarily based on its longevity.
I agree.
I'm all for like dying together and shit. I just don't think that's the only option.
1,000%. Yeah, it doesn't make your experiences in that moment less valid because you both nurtured each other through your experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Do you meditate or have any daily practices?
Daily practices. I have meditated,
Okay.
but I don't do it every day.
Do you like it when you do?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm better than everyone.
Totally.
Oh my god, I fucking did that
Yeah.
shit.
That's
Yeah.
It's
why
like
we do it.
it's like I
Listen, you are. The truth is that you are.
Yeah, it's like when I performatively read books in public.
Oh,
Upside down.
You know, it's just to feel pretentious. Do I have a daily
do you
practice?
Do you wear glasses too when you're reading your books?
I don't like wearing glasses. I like the frame on the world kind of fucks with me. Yours are nice though.
Thank you, but I agree. When I wear my contacts, I'm like, oh, everything feels so much.
I should get LASIK, but I'm scared.
Me too.
Poke my eye.
Yeah, it's-
Just the process, or you think they might mess it up?
I don't know. I'm scared.
I know, I agree. Don't.
It's a laser.
I can barely fucking.
The thing that I judge myself the most for being bad at is the morning. I'm so bad at the morning.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I just like program my brain for uselessness the moment I wake up. I'm like, oh, I'm awake. Let me look at something that makes me insecure.
No, dude, I
Dude.
know.
For those listening in an audio capacity, I did a fake phone scroll. That's the thing that makes me insecure. It's there to kill you.
Dude,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, and like for you to share that honest insecurity, I mean, there like just every single person has that pain trigger that we seem to be kind of addicted to or familiarized ourselves with that state and like find that as a way to get there quickly. It's very interesting how
It
we
wakes
do
you
that.
up.
Mm.
You're tired, and you're like, fuck.
Little
I need some
cortisol.
coffee and some adrenaline.
Yeah,
Let's get jealous.
Might as well.
that's funny. Yeah, insecurity is very activating,
Yeah.
but it also makes me want to dig a large hole and go watch New Girl in it.
I have done this so many times. I am obsessed with my phone. I have literally woken up and gone on Instagram so many times that I've started realizing that the whole rest of the day is awful when I do that in the morning.
Sure.
And I've had to literally fight with myself in the morning to be like, do you want this to be a good day or a bad day? Then just don't click it. Just don't click
Yeah,
it.
you can put your phone in another room. I bought an alarm clock so I could put my phone in another room,
There it
but
is.
I made the mistake of buying one of those fancy alarm clocks, and I can't get it to work.
Oh no.
Gotta
I
go.
literally have a turned off alarm clock beside my bed, and it's been there for 2 months.
Just go to Value
I'm
Village.
like almost there.
Yeah.
Value Village is a very Canadian thing of you to suggest.
Oh, what's the equivalent?
I think
Goodwill.
Oh, yeah.
Goodwill. They probably have alarm clocks.
Yeah. And the easy programming ones.
Yeah, it's like the one that the sun rises in the morning when you plug it in.
Oh,
but I
you
to,
have that
connect it.
one?
Turned off. I've never turned it on. It just sits
Oh.
beside my bed.
Oh, it's gonna give you the wake up light?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
I've heard that's life changing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn it on. I have to plug it in.
And then you get
But I think I have to
stimulated.
do something else because I have to connect it to what? I am bad at things.
Dude, TaskRabbit.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I could have someone else do it for me.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
For like less than $50.
I'll consider it.
All right. Or just like, yeah, fucking YouTube. You could probably some do it
But
on
are
YouTube.
you getting up the same time every day
No.
generally? So then you'll have to figure it out. You'll have to learn. You have to get the manual out and just take a couple hours.
No.
I've had to be creative about consistency because I don't wake up in the same place very often because I'm a slut.
And you're out here.
I love that for you.
Because I'm a touring musician. And that means there was like a full year and a half of my life where almost every morning I would wake up and be like, where am I? Oh, right.
That's sick.
How do you stay healthy? And well.
I didn't get sick on the road. It's actually the thing about the tour that I'm the most personally proud of.
Yeah.
And there was a bad moment there after the Mexico shows because I got like really adventurous with some tequila.
Oh,
It might have been the tacos. I don't know. Hard to tell. But I had to muscle through the Texas shows after that. But I didn't miss a show. There was like 90 something and I didn't miss one.
good job.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't know where I'd wake up in the morning. So I have to find like little other versions of consistency. Like, is it wearing the same jewelry every day? Is it like, I don't know, that was kind of the only thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That seems like
A morning
jewelry's-
process would serve too. Like if
I have a
you
skincare routine now.
hello,
Yeah,
dude. You
my
guys-
dad
skin
was
looks great.
My dad was in my hotel room yesterday, and he was like, he saw all like the creams and stuff, and he goes, "Did this just come with the hotel?"
Is it a Clarence sponsored hotel or something?
And I was like, "No, that's my skincare routine." He goes, "Huh?" I was like, "Dad, it's 2024. You got to get a skincare routine.
Totally, a little even aftershave. Totally.
Think about how you're
Makes
gonna
a
feel in your
difference.
70s."
It's true. May I ask what that is? What are you doing? You exfoliating? You moisturizing? Aloe peeling? What's
I
going
have
on?
trouble with actually washing my face because it makes a mess with the water, and that's a barrier.
I'm the same.
of
I'm
entry
like a
to me.
cat. I'm like, it's
I
gonna be
don't-
fucking. You
it's-
gotta
I
take my
don't-
shirt
yeah,
off.
I don't like that, so I use a wipe. I use like a cleaning wipe, which I've been told is not ideal, but like I'm just not gonna do it if I have to make a mess.
Yeah.
So there's the I don't know what the brand is, but there's like a wipe,
Yeah.
and then there's a toner,
Yes.
and then there's a serum, and then there's a cream, and then during the day there's a sunscreen.
Nice. I love.
Oh,
the
and there's an
serum.
eye cream.
The eye cream for in here.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a little
yeah.
more sensitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. I think like I've been in therapy for so long that I think most of my problems have gone beyond my ability to conceptually navigate them, and I need to do some like more physiological work. So I find like
Nice.
one of the only like physically nice things that I do for my body is that face routine, and there's something about just like
Beautiful.
it feels like a 5 minutes of a version of self love. I think.
That's right.
Although yesterday I couldn't sleep, so I went to the gym in the hotel,
Yes.
and I was alone in the gym, and Love Island was on the TV, and in my head I was like, I think this might be the most well executed self care I've ever done. Love Island in the gym.
Hotel, relaxing TV on, just do a little pump.
Is that what Love Island relaxing?
Yeah, it's very colorful and everyone's hot.
Oh, I see it. Okay,
It
I get
soothes
it.
you. It soothes your brain, like for when you're watching.
But then they speak.
I have no issue romanticizing people who say things that I might not personally find the most intellectually stimulating, but they're so hot and kind.
nice to look at.
totally.
It's like,
Yeah,
it'd
and
be nice.
honestly,
I appreciate
some
that.
of them like got bars from time to time.
True.
Yeah, I mean the editing on those things I think are meant to make them.
I think they're being manipulated. I think
Yeah.
they're just like very hot sweethearts
Yep.
who saw an opportunity to have a little adventure
Yeah.
with other hot sweethearts, and they took it.
Love it. We love
Beautifully
this for you,
put.
Love Island.
Very
Love
beautifully
Island.
put.
One of my, I'm gonna put this out into the world. I'm gonna manifest this. One of my bucket list items is on Love Island. Sometimes they have those one-on-one dates. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but I'm a fan of the franchise.
I've
So,
seen the clips on YouTube Shorts.
It's so hot and everything's so colorful.
You trying to get on this show, bro?
I don't want to be a contestant. Here's what I want. Sometimes they have one-on-one dates where they do like fun little games. So I think it'd be a good one-on-one date for a couple to write a song together.
Oh my god.
And if the couple's going to write a song together, they need a mentor to help them write the song together.
Hello.
So I could go and just ask them questions about their love and just like look at them.
Oh my.
And so it
And
is.
so it is. And so
That would be good, right?
I would love to see that.
Me too.
A JP Saxe song about like your guys' potential compatibilities.
I do like
Brilliant.
I like the dumb dating shows. I think they're so fun.
They're soothing.
Yeah, and like there's only so much like high pretentious art I can consume. Especially like when you spend all day like making art that is pretentious. You can't go home and then watch pretentious art. You know?
It's too much.
When you do though, what do you watch?
The dumb stuff or the good stuff?
The good stuff.
The good stuff is the dumb stuff. Is a trick question.
Shit.
Sorry, the dumb good stuff or the like, oh, that was inspiring stuff.
That one.
You want the inspiring stuff? I don't know. Sometimes I get like coerced into watching like A24 movies. The last movie that I watched that I genuinely loved was called Coda.
Oh yeah, good film.
Which one?
I saw it on a plane. I cried.
The deaf singer.
Oh, yo, word.
These guys.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. The last two pieces of art that I was really moved by was Coda. Sobbed on an airplane. I cry in movies on airplanes. It actually doesn't matter what the movie is. I will cry in a movie if I watch it on an airplane.
Yeah.
I think I cried during Draft Day. Kevin Costner was just so convincing when he got that.
The Fire movie?
No, it's a football movie.
It's a football movie.
Don't know it.
Sports movies on airplanes are one of the few cases that is as acceptable as a man to cry.
That's beautiful. I agree. It's becoming more and more acceptable for men to cry.
No, you can't do it usually, but there are like a few cases where it's allowed.
Fair enough.
Like if your team wins a championship,
Yes, for sure.
you're allowed to cry. War movies on airplanes or like Friday Night Lights.
Man shit.
Yeah.
As long as it's attached to something.
Maybe you can cry during an underdog sports movie or war movie, not on an airplane, but iffy. Other than that, men, don't fucking cry. Hold that shit in like a man.
Therapy is really helping you out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. This is so good to see.
What was your question? Hi, Art. No, I gave you answers.
Confidence.
Coda I really love.
Yeah.
And then there's a Leon Thomas album out right now, which I'm obsessed with. I've been listening to it and studying it. It's so good. So that I've really loved. What other pretentious art have I liked? I don't think actually the Leon Thomas or the Coda. I don't know.
What do you like about it?
I think it's pretentious to like it, but I don't think the art is pretentious. Does that make sense?
Like highbrow, you're rather just saying. It's like impressive in a way that's not like shallow primetime TV.
If I'm gonna get like slightly more nuanced about my love of daytime reality dating shows, a friend of mine who is so much more intelligent than I am, her name's Adij, and she says that she doesn't believe in guilty pleasure.
Okay.
She just believes in pleasure.
Pleasure. Yes.
And I think that's a nice approach to life.
Cheers to that.
Like, why? Who are we to judge our own joy?
Oh,
Yo.
It's like there's not enough of it to be judgmental about the things that make you happy.
totally. And
Well
we really
said.
don't prioritize it very often.
Yeah, and people who like get on it for being harmful, I'm like, I don't think anyone's thinking that the way they should find love in the world is by like doing a challenge where you get slippery and then like eat a cupcake with a blindfold.
Right. And I think sometimes people forget that we're adults making adult choices.
Do what
And
you want.
sometimes adults make mistakes. And that's okay.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. I think we're actually just always making hopefully better mistakes, but I think they're always mistakes.
Slightly incremental better mistakes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ideally failing forward.
Yes.
It's very
Ideally.
easy for me to fail forward because I'm white and man.
Ooh, well said. Facts.
Do you embrace that then? Do you take that?
I have no other option. It's my only.
Yeah, good.
It's who I am. I broke my ring.
Oh no.
And it's my favorite one because like a fidget spinner ring.
What do you mean broke?
Look, it came off the other side.
Oh.
I think
Can it get fixed?
I could probably.
I think it's fixable.
I think it's fixable, not by
really-
me. I'm not much of a fixer.
Fair enough.
We have a guy who did our rings.
The only thing I
He
try and
could
fix
fix
is
it.
women.
I was gonna say there's a
How did-
bar in there about being a
Does that work
fixer.
out for you?
Have you fixed anyone up publicly yet?
That's an
Yeah.
interesting thing.
I feel
I
like.
don't try and fix them. I just try and feel useful by being of service.
Do you feel like that's. What are your love languages? Do you know them?
All of them.
But what are your tops?
I accept love in all languages. No, genuinely, depending on the moment, all of them. This is what I think is a little bit like I don't understand about the love languages. And I read the book. I think everyone likes all of them, and I think the language someone wants to be loved in, like if they want quality time or acts of service or gifts or whatever, like it very much is situationally dependent. Like there are moments when I want to be hugged. There are moments when I want you to sit beside me and watch a movie. There are moments when I want to be helped. Like it just very much depends on what is happening in my life. There are moments where I really don't want to be touched. You know, so I like all of the love languages, and the one that I think I would want in any given moment is situationally dependent. And I think the way we love others needs to be discerning. Like, it has to be thoughtful. We can't just say, this is how I love. We have to go, how do you need to be loved?
Yes.
Usually,
That.
how do you need to be loved specifically and in this moment?
Yeah.
And it is loving to be thoughtful about which version of love you're going to show up for someone with.
Let's go. That's
Bravo.
mindfulness right there, dude. Crush that, because that's exactly it. When we look at our love languages, it's like, how do I want to receive? But actual, like, the sustainable thing to do in a relationship is to think about how to serve or how to give and think about theirs.
Yeah, and you should know both, but like I just don't think anyone, like sure, maybe we're predisposed to some more than others, but like we're going to want all of them at different times, in
Yeah.
different ways. And I want different kinds of love from different people.
Oh, true.
So
Different forms from different relationships
yeah,
and
like
different
all
capacities.
of, my 7 girlfriends know that I like to be loved specifically by each of them.
And they show up on schedule according.
That's That's awesome.
There's not 7. It's only like 4.
Fair enough. We talk about that even as people. Like
As long as it's communicated.
I'm being facetious for the audience. I don't have.
No, I like where
don't
this
have
is going. I
7
love that
before.
Winnie has an understanding about
Tell
communication.
me more. Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh,
no.
I'm just
No, she's
saying that
goofing.
there's nothing wrong with 4 girlfriends if it's being communicated to everyone and everyone's on board.
Okay, so this is something that I think might be my toxic trait, and I'm looking forward to your thoughts on it. I think my toxic trait is I think that I can justify anything I want if I can communicate it well.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that might be true.
I don't know, because I can communicate a lot of things well.
I'm
fair
understanding
enough.
that right now in the last half an hour that
So-
we've been together.
I don't know. I don't know if everything is justified
So-
by good communication.
Maybe not justified, but the awareness takes it to like a level where at least there can be more conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if there's no awareness in the first place of like what you're trying to communicate, then there's not even any.
It's a saving grace.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of good intention amongst bad communicators.
Ooh,
I agree.
Well said, yeah. But then with good communicators, I feel like as long as you communicate where you're at, you won't be crossing a line because people can communicate back their boundaries.
I don't know. If you hurt someone, is it okay if you told them the way you were going to hurt them?
Up front.
Yeah.
If they
I don't know
agreed
if
to
hurting,
it.
Yeah, I don't know if hurting anyone is really. That's probably the line, I guess.
Strong point, Winnie.
No, I actually disagree with that.
I think this is a misunderstanding people make about songwriters
true.
often. I think with songwriters, people mistake the ability to articulate fuckery for the ability to overcome it.
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
I think with artists, often people mistake the ability to articulate fuckery with the ability to overcome it.
Right.
I'm good at articulating my fuckery. That does not mean I know how to overcome it.
Yes. Well said. That's incredible.
But the fact that you can articulate it gives you
An upper hand.
Opportunity to overcome it.
If
I don't think
want
if
to.
you if you couldn't articulate it at all, if you couldn't recognize that it was anything, there would be even no opportunity to ever overcome it.
You're right.
So there would be no choice there.
I think you're right that the step is necessary, but the step does not necessarily need to lead to the next one.
Yeah.
Totally. You have to want to.
And as an artist, it is very rewarding to just stop at the self-awareness stage and not the
Implementation stage.
self-implementation stage.
Buddy, we gotta call ourselves out so hard. Or even want to change the behavior.
I don't even know if I want the implementation stage. I want to have fun getting it wrong for a while.
Yes.
I don't want to figure it out before I have the fun of not knowing.
Because we don't know anything, I think.
Nothing.
Fuck.
That is so cool. Trust.
Do you ever get writer's block?
No, I actually don't believe in writer's block. I think writer's block is just fear of writing something bad.
Sick. Bars. Major bar.
That was good.
That was sick. That's such
That
a
hit me personally. I'm currently writing a comedy series.
Sick.
And I am afraid of writing something bad.
But you have to write something bad.
That's it.
But I don't want to.
Well, you don't have to show it to anybody.
Okay.
Just like you have. I mean, if you don't let yourself, I can speak to songs because it's the only thing I've done at any sort of successful level. But I think if you don't let yourself write if you don't let yourself write bad songs, you won't let yourself write good songs. Like I think of bad songs as like fertilizer. You need to have a big pile of bad shit, like literal bad shit. And the bigger your pile of bad shit is, the more likely good shit will grow out of it. So like, it's part of the process. So if you're feeling writer's block, you just gotta like make more bad writing. And just the bigger the pile of bad writing gets, the closer you are to the good writing that comes out of it. But if you stop yourself from writing the bad stuff, you're not ever gonna write the good stuff. So I don't believe in writer's block.
Spoken
You're cool.
like a true
Winnie.
master.
Yeah, you're a cool
like
guy.
a true master, bro. That's so sick because it is the fuel for those bag of fertilizers that you have to have kicking around. It's that energy and fuel to write those, to make those sketch drafts or to whatever, and even sometimes bring them to a full place to realize that's not good. That energy that you tap into to accomplish all of those 97 blahs before the 3 hits or whatever the ratio is, where are you getting that
That would
energy?
be such a good ratio. If I had 3 hits per 100 songs,
Yeah.
I'd be so rich.
Sick. So that's how
Really?
that's how much volume you're doing.
I mean, I have 2 hits, and I've probably written 5,000 songs. I've probably written more than 5,000 songs.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what's something I wanted to touch on earlier is you've been playing piano since and doing music for how long? Like what age?
I was playing the piano when I was like 14, 15.
And you used to play at a restaurant sometimes or something?
Yeah. That was my first jobs, which is like being wallpaper music at like fancy restaurants.
That's so
Just
sick.
play my little piano in the corner, take requests.
Yeah, and the way you play is so soulful. It's so informed from like this. I used to call it the juice. It's like you don't even have to play the whole chord. You know which couple notes in that chord to like just make it land in that like soulful spot. Like, is that something you accumulated just playing keys over those hours? Like, because that's reps.
Yeah, I'm just stealing from great piano players.
No, yeah,
Like I'm stealing from Oscar Peterson. I'm stealing from Bill Evans. I'm stealing from guitar players sometimes too. Stole a lot from John Mayer.
just lift the riffs in your mind. And, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You can feel it. That's so sick.
Stole from the Beatles. Stole from Gershwin. Just like learn things and then borrow it. I had like such an interesting realization lately when it comes to stealing. I had always believed that if I really revered a song, I wouldn't bite it because of how much I respected it. I've had a pivot. Now, if I really revere a song, I will bite it because of how much I respect it.
Oh, yes, it's like a shout out.
Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga gave me this realization. They had a song come out that is like has some similarities to a song of mine.
Okay.
People, if I don't know if y'all clip this shit out, but if people are watching this on the internet, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Keep it.
And at first I was like, huh, that's weird. And then I thought about it. I was like, wow, they're like allowed to do that.
Right.
I feel so liberated by them doing it because I'm like, if I can get stolen from icons, I get to now steal from icons. So it just felt like a little permission slip on just like, take it, it's yours.
Yo! That's such a good attitude. I love that. Congratulations.
I know
That's
it's
a
like I
weird...
should have already known this because of the whole like good artists, what is it? Good artists copy, great artists steal.
Steal, yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
I should have known, but like sometimes things that you know conceptually don't like sink in until you have that moment.
Yes.
And Bruno and Lady Gaga gave me that moment. Thank you, squad. Appreciate it.
Cheers. That's amazing. That's a big feeling of like becoming larger than it or not letting it aggravate you and like feeling like you contributed to music in some way
Yeah.
larger than yourself.
It's
even.
nice to
That's
it's nice
sick.
to get bit from time to time.
Yeah. So like you like I've spoken in the music scene in Toronto, you are spoken of with so much love.
That's nice.
I just got to give you those flowers through all the good times that I've bumped into people and they recall the good, the good old days and all that, or the better nowadays, but like all that, and you are just looked at with so much love
Oh,
from
that's
the
really
city.
sweet. I'm very grateful for that.
I hope you know that, and a lot of people cheering you on, and you.
I'm trying to be the most famous ginger from Toronto.
It's pretty much all as good as done, which is
Like,
beautiful.
The most famous singer from Toronto feels unattainable, so I'm going with my niche.
That's fair enough. I mean, Drizzy has some big shoes to fill, but that's
Not a ginger.
You're not a ginger.
Nope.
Facts.
Oh, I didn't realize
True.
that.
Neither is Daniel Caesar.
That's right, and I watched fucking Daniel Caesar do his thing too. Like you have really gone this like beautiful, humble musician route, and I don't know if you ever done like a personality test, but I'm like a protagonist, and
Which personality test is that?
I'll
I
send it to
know
you.
about 3 of them. I know about astrology, I know about Enneagrams, and I know about Myers-Briggs.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, I think it's Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs is the letters.
Oh yeah.
For example, I'm an ENFJ.
Oh no, I don't know this one.
In an Enneagram, I'm a 2.
Sexy.
In
Yeah.
horoscope, I'm an Aries.
Is that your sun sign?
Sun sign.
Do you know your
Moon sign?
Yeah.
Aries.
You're double
and
Aries.
ascending?
Rising Aquarius.
Beautiful.
I lived in Los Angeles for 12 years. Of course I know this.
I walked down Melrose. I know all this stuff in one go. Yeah, so you have done this incredible thing, and it's been a pleasure to see you observe it. To observe you see and fulfill your perceiving destiny as a musician. So, like, if I may, self-indulgently, as a musician, ask, like, what was that like? Because I caught up with you when you were with Christian Bridges in LA, like, oh my God, circa 2000.
That was a while ago.
Like 2016, 17?
Yeah, that was pre-success.
I'd call it tipping point. I've always looked at you as successful because
Thank
when
you.
you would come on at Free
You
Fall
have a
Sundays,
healthier version of success than I do.
when you make people lean forward, that's success to me as
Does
a
it matter
musician.
how many of them lean forward?
It kind of does. So good job. Congrats.
Like, look,
No.
I agree that
I'm just kidding.
the ideal highest version of ourselves perceives success the way you are perceiving it.
Yeah. But that's just what feels right in my heart.
Yeah, I wish I could arrive at that, but I don't think I'm ready for that healthier mentality because I'm still trying to derive ambition from all of the dysfunctional places that are still useful.
The not enoughness.
Yeah, it's so debilitating and yet also somewhat useful.
Driving.
I worry about eliminating all my insecurity because I take a lot of my ambition from it. If I start feeling like I'm enough, maybe I'll stop wanting more, and that scares me.
I love that honesty. Thank you so much. That's incredible to know because it's like, do you heal your heart or keep the fire flame? And you got to find ways to kind of derive ambition somehow for inspiration.
I do think there's an interesting thing that happens in artists' careers when they do have a degree of success where for so long they were running away from something and their ambition came from what they were trying to get away from, what they were trying to come up from. And then once you like your life, trying to change your life requires a different mentality because you're not trying to change everything, but you still want to build. But to have ambition without dissatisfaction is tough because if you're very like I love my life,
Yes.
but
I think you start creating problems when if you don't have them.
you definitely start creating problems
Yeah.
because you associate ambition with dissatisfaction.
So can we choose our best problems
What are your best problems?
right now in my life?
Yeah.
My best problem?
Writing your series.
That-
Instead of
that's my
worrying
best
about
problem.
how to make money, write your series,
Yeah.
right? Like shift your focus, he's saying.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a
shoot-
good problem.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a good
that would be
problem.
my best problem.
So you're saying now, even still, because I was going to ask you, like, you know, when I saw your place, the Melrose thing, like, and like when you were at that stage in your journey, some miraculous form of like creative expression expansion or something, or what would you say as an artist putting in all those reps, writing all those songs? I know you wrote for others. You've developed yourself. I started to see you play guitar more.
Yeah, that was new.
That was new. Like I remember only keys. Like
I didn't start playing guitar until I was like 18, 19. You know why I learned the guitar?
Why?
Because I was working at a studio. My first like big opportunity as a songwriter was I was given an opportunity to work at Babyface's studio.
LaFace Studios.
It's called Brandon's Way.
Brandon's Way.
That was the name of his record label with L.A. Reid, though, back in the day.
Okay.
Brandon's Way was the name of the studio, and I went in there with a production team called The Rascals. Chris Riddick Tynes, Leon Thomas was working there at the time. J.Q. Smith became a mentor. Tony Dixon became a mentor, and Babyface. And a lot of them played the piano.
Right.
So I would often end up in sessions, and they'd be like, yo, can you play guitar on this? And I didn't really know how. But I'd be like, I can totally play guitar.
Because of course you're gonna say no.
And
Like
then I just practiced my ass off so I could like, because Leon's an amazing
Wow.
guitar player. He's like a virtuosic guitar player, but he wasn't always there. So when he wasn't there, and obviously Kenny plays guitar, but Babyface, but he wasn't always there. So I was like next option guitar player. So I think they just assumed that like, oh, white dude, kind of folky, must play guitar. So like, asked me to play guitar, and so I learned so I could say yes.
dude,
Because
that's
Tony's an amazing guitar player, so like he was usually there, so he'd be playing, not me.
that's incredible. You let it drive you to. So what did that look like? You just went home and you just like fucking
Yeah.
bust it.
Do you get obsessed
Yes.
and like focused? Like
Yes.
Yeah. Has that always been a trait?
Yes. Yeah, I'm extremely bad at doing anything I don't want to do, and extremely obsessive about anything I do.
Oh yes, I feel that.
I mean, thank you. Because no, you're bringing beautiful music to the world because of it. So
Thanks, Whitney. I'm very grateful that like I don't have to do anything other than what I love to
Ugh.
have a life.
I'm so happy that
That's
you get to
fucking
do
awesome.
that. That's fucking rad.
And I get to do it with people I love. I get to do what I love with people I love. It's a huge win.
Yeah. Do you think that you'll learn another instrument?
Probably. It's not like what I'm currently the most excited about. because I'm excited about things that allow me to be more expressive, and I don't think right now added musicality is what will do that. If anything, I think less musicality is probably what does that. So yeah, most of the skills I'm pursuing are skills that contribute to the capacity to communicate. So learning Spanish, that's been helpful. Writing songs in Spanish with Spanish artists has been fucking awesome.
Yes. They got a vibe.
I'm also learning how to use my body differently. That's like the main thing that I feel so uncomfortable in and I'm trying to get better at.
I've seen it when, bro, at History or even the Rivoli show when we first seen you here, like, I noticed right away, I was like, look at your stage presence. Like, your reps of doing shows over these past, like, 5 whatever years since, like, the last time I seen you, you've, like, totally, like, become, like, animated. It's so incredible to see. Was that just show reps?
No, I mean, at that point, I didn't feel comfortable with it at all. Like, I'm trying to get more comfortable with it now, like, even since the last tour.
History, you were fucking swinging the guitar around. You were like stopping songs and like chatting with people and right back into the song. Like that shit was so fucking fun, man.
I appreciate it.
Oh, dude. No, I mean, it's very apparent that like just.
That was a really fun show. I mean, it was one of
was.
the bigger ones of the tour, hometown. Like,
It was so good.
History's so sick. That one felt really good.
Beautiful, beautiful venue and amazing and looked great.
I missed that. I mean, I probably won't tour till next fall, but it's because I'm making the new album. So, and the new album, I think musically, is so different than anything I've done before.
Yeah.
That I'm having fun with the exploration of not just redefining the identity of the music, but redefining the identity of me.
Yes.
Because I think like new art means new artist. So it's like the music sounds different. So what's the identity of this art? How do I become the artist that does this art? So that's been fun.
Are you moving? You don't have to give too much away, but like, are you moving towards any specific energy in any direction? And do you feel like you're moving away from a type of energy and into a new energy, like this new energy?
I wouldn't know how to describe it necessarily because I'm still kind of figuring out what it looks like.
Nice.
I know what the music sounds like, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like it doesn't feel like the same guy's singing it.
Right.
So I want to be not like a character, but like I want to figure out like, okay, what does it feel like to be who I am in these songs outwardly? I think sometimes what people misunderstand about authenticity as an artist is that it isn't just being yourself. Because sure, I can be myself with the two of y'all because like we're here and we're having a conversation, but being authentic as an artist means someone sees you for 5 seconds and who they think you are is accurate. And creating an impression with 5 seconds that is accurate to who you are doesn't just mean showing up. It requires a craft.
A little foresight.
It requires, you know, what you look like, how you're presenting, what you're wearing, what like all of that creation.
1000%.
So
Yeah,
that's
totally.
kind of the world I've been in lately. Like, who am I? Who's the artist that does these songs?
Are you enjoying that
very
exploration?
I used to get very intimidated by having to work in mediums that weren't the one that I had the most agency in because I've been writing songs for like 20 years or whatever. So, like that I feel not 20, but ish. That I feel comfy with. I know how to do it, but like. I don't know shit about fashion or like jewelry or movement or video making or photo shoots, but so that used to intimidate me. But now it's like, I just get to collaborate. I just get
Yeah.
to find people who have their 10,000 hours on that thing,
Totally.
talk about vision, and then they tell me what that looks like in their world, and that's fun.
So then, do you get nervous?
Ever?
I mean, like, what makes you nervous now? Like, is performing still? Do you get nerves?
Sometimes I get nervous when I know I'm going to say something I mean that will like make people mad at me, but I have to say it anyway. But it's like nervous in like a fun way. You know, it's
You
like
just melted my heart.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it's nervous in like I'm about to like exist in my truth for a little bit.
Ooh.
I became more of an activist over the last year, which is something that I certainly was engaging in when we were in Toronto together 12 years ago, and then I got away from it as I built my craft, and I've kind of like re-entered my passion for let's burn it down.
Humanity.
And that makes me nervous sometimes, but it's like
Yeah.
kind of buzzy nervous. It's not like don't do it nervous. It's like
Yeah.
do it nervous.
Yeah. Do it nervous. That's got to be the best kind of nervous.
Yeah, I think of it as like there's nervous that's like your body yelling at you to stop, and then there's nervous your body yelling at you like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like it's like all your nerves like stand up and like get real eyes wide, like try and like be really present in the moment.
It does. It drives you right there. You're like locked in. You're like buzzing. That's cool.
Yeah, like when I go on the internet and I like say something that I know people are gonna yell at me for, but I know I really wholeheartedly mean it, I get nervous about it. But like,
Nice.
there's also something so validating about people who you disagree with yelling at you.
Ooh, because
It's
you
like,
know
the right people disagree with me.
you struck a chord.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't want those people to be okay with me.
Oh, nice.
So, like, if that many people that I don't fuck with aren't okay with me, that means I'm doing something right.
Right on. It's decisive.
Yeah, they're like very validating death threats.
No.
Bro, the internet is a wild place.
That's
It's
fucked up,
just-
dude. Back off, bro. Chill out, man. It's just words, dude.
Validating, dude. It's like it's
No, it's good
validating
for
because
you.
it means I'm saying the right thing. If the people who believe shit that you think is deeply wrong are mad at you, it means you're doing something right.
I mean, the tilt of the world with the polarization, it just seems like it's not going to go away. So it's part of this, like, participation of being human.
Yeah, well, I mean, like last October when I decided to be like vocally pro-Palestinian in October of 2023, that garnered a lot of fuck off, self-hating Jew.
way you came at it, though, was so, like, beautiful. Like, you identified, right, that you are Jewish.
I
and,
thought so.
Like, hey, don't we remember?
I think Jewish values
Sorry.
means being anti-genocide. I think that shouldn't be controversial, and I think anyone
Kinda,
who thinks
right?
it is not someone I'm trying to agree with anyway. So
It's very extreme.
when they, say mean things to me on the internet, it like makes me feel grounded that I'm, as I said, if people who believe things you think is wrong are mad at you, it means you're doing something right.
Bars. I mean, hey, we commend your bravery. Fucking, yeah, man. Stand up for what you believe.
People think brave, but I don't think it's brave. I mean, people are always like, yo, you worried about like losing opportunities and shit? Like, you're talking about free Palestine, you're talking about like how Jewish identity doesn't mean being Zionist. Like, are you worried you're going to lose opportunities? I'm like, what I would lose in the world is so insignificant compared to what I would lose in myself if I were to not say the shit I mean.
Yeah.
I would have to turn off so much of myself to not opt into conversations that is important to me, important to my community. Like, anything the world can take from me is not as intense as what I would have to take from myself to not be a part of it.
Beautifully said. Incredible. And when you're faced with that, everyone has this in their own life. It's not just like that situation. It's like when people have that voice inside of them when they know the truth wants to express and like that structure that they're worried about might be some value in. It's like, nah, it's not. Anything that's right for you isn't in there.
Yeah.
Like, like those opportunities, right? Like, aren't you worried? It's like, no, like anything coming from that energy or space of like it's almost wouldn't feel right to benefit from it. Like, fucking move
exactly. Like, opportunity that comes from having to be someone other than yourself is not opportunity that is meant for yourself.
Let's go. And people are scared because they don't want to wipe anything off the table, and it's very like it seems like the world has been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to be like, here's something that you guys could all disagree on. Go.
Yeah, also, sometimes being loved by the right people means being hated by the wrong ones.
Ooh.
And it's not the role of artists to be careful.
It's
Like, I think
it's really not.
I think it's so dumb, all these artists who are just chicken shit about saying what they believe or saying what they mean, because they're like, you're just never gonna be an iconic artist if you're
safe.
safe.
Facts, dude. Well said. Respect. Fuck yeah. Have you got a little heat from anyone around you who, in their mind, wanted the best for you? Like, do you think, like, coming to you, be like, yo, shh?
Yeah, I think sometimes people like disguise their cowardice as pragmatism.
Bars, yo. Facts, though. Facts,
I'm getting
actually.
hit. Just like bam, bam. Just
But like, I don't know, like everyone's on their own journey. I'm not gonna tell them what they should or shouldn't feel, even if I think they're gonna arrive at it eventually or they want. I don't know. It's just
That's it.
keep people at the distance I can love them.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And you realize that's like, oh, where you best fit in is right there, and that's where I can compartmentalize you. That's incredible. It's good to create an inner space, though, just for yourself. And we talked about self-care a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like you access, like, a flow state or something when you're creative? When do you really get into, like, a creative flow space? You work a lot with Ryan, is that right? Is your
The
producer?
main producers Ryan Marone and Malay.
Beautiful. And do you have a system where you guys go in together and you start writing? Or do you get into your thoughts, and are you a bedroom by yourself kind of candlelight writer? Like, which way do you kind of get into that?
It's somewhere in between the two. I mean, most of my writing happens outside of a creative space. Like, I do most of my writing just like free writing on a writing device. And then
really?
I'll bring that into the studio, read through what I'd written, forgotten most of it that had been written. I'd be like, oh, that shit sounds like a verse 1, that shit sounds like a chorus. To your thing about the writer's block with the script, I found recently that the most interesting things I've been writing was when I wrote when I didn't want to.
Ooh.
Because when I want to write, it means there's like something like very like at the surface that like wants to get out. When I don't want to write, the things I have to find are a little bit deeper
have to
down there, and then they're
dig.
more interesting.
I love that.
Dude.
Yeah, I like it too.
So you fish for the feeling?
No, I write whether I want to or not.
So you show up every day, tactic moves the spirit.
Do you think though that over the course of time you've just created this habit, so it like you know that showing up when you don't want to write is going to be worth it? Like, have you proved that to yourself?
Yes.
But you have to prove it. Do you feel like you have to prove it before it really like?
No, I mean, because like we were saying earlier, like the thing you're trying to do, you can't do yet, which is why. But you, so when people say you can't do it, they're right because you can't do it yet because you haven't like,
Done it.
The step 50 is very hard when you're at step 2, but step 3 is easy, and then step 4 is
This is
easy,
it.
and then when you get to step 49, step 50 is fucking easy.
This is it. You're right. I honestly,
So
it's just like
beautiful.
I'm just making excuses. Like I'm not being disciplined. You're right.
Discipline is overrated though. Like literally, like just the next time you feel like writing, just do it. You don't need to like set up a plan. You literally can't. This is the way I think about it. Like I'm bad at consistency and I'm bad at discipline, but I'm good at doing things when I want to. So I just need to like whenever I want to, I do it. I can't write for 50 days in a row all at once. I can just
Yeah.
do it when I want to.
When you feel it.
And then it might all come out.
I'm like trying to go to the gym more, and yesterday I wanted to at 1 a.m, so I did.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Don't you love when they
Did
have
you-
late gyms?
Yeah, it was nice. Doesn't always happen. Usually it's on push-ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hurts my wrists.
Yeah.
How many push-ups can you do?
And it depends on my mood.
That's
I
right.
usually max out at like 40.
That's sick.
What? That's
nice
crazy.
Of you to encourage.
Yeah.
I maxed out at 2. Seriously.
Is that how you're staying like fit? Like you've looked good,
Thanks.
bro. Like
I
you're
appreciate
filling
that.
out. And like, are you eating well on the road? Are you prioritizing that?
Eating well on the road? No, that's impossible.
It's impossible, right? Like, how are you navigating that and like balancing that? Do you work out a lot?
No.
No. Do you feel like
I walk a lot.
yeah?
I do push-ups.
Sick. Yeah, that works. And like pull-ups, that feels really good. Do you ever try pull-ups?
I don't have anything to pull up on.
There's some shorties right there. Sorry. I just go to like a baseball diamond, and you know in the dugout they have like a bar.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, just do that. But yeah, eating on the road. Do you hear this beautiful
Yeah, it's
classical
like, I was just
music?
thinking about that. It's like it sounds like a theremin. Lots of cheese strings on the road.
Oh yeah.
Lots of those like PB&J sandwiches. Lots of edibles.
Yeah.
Lots of dried mango. We put dried mango on the rider. Huge error. I eat like a pack of dried mango a day. I'm obsessed
7D?
with that shit.
The Philippines brand.
No. The unsweetened ones.
Okay.
I think the mangoes are good enough as they are. I don't think we need to add sugar to them.
That's true.
Although I do like it when you put like the lime juice in the what is it, like some sort of turmeric thing. Fuck, what's the name of that flavor?
Cayenne.
My Mexican friends are gonna be so mad at me.
Oh, like the Mexican vibe, like when they
Yeah.
make it spicy a little bit.
Yeah, I like that too.
Dude, doesn't Mexico, like, in their 7-Eleven or whatever, there was a bunch of, like, things that all resembled, like, sweet and salty and spicy. I remember LA has spicy fruit.
Their palates are on some shit. I think they're elevated. I think those are some elevated palates. The best restaurants in the world, I think, are in Mexico City.
Oh, my God.
No, I mean, that's not a controversial opinion. People generally think that.
I think Mexican food across the board, like, even the other night we were in the Distillery District, we saw that awesome show.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked past on the way out is it El Catrin? I think it's there. I was like, fuck, I want to go there right now.
So if you're saying Toronto things, and I have such imposter syndrome about my Toronto identity, because like obviously I grew up here, I was here till I was 19 years old, but whenever someone's like, yo, I'm going to your city, like any recommendations, I'm like, I haven't lived there since I was a teenager. I can tell you what I did when I was 18, but I'm not sure it's what you want to do now. Like I've never been an adult in Toronto, I've only been an adult in Los Angeles. It makes it hard to know like where I can claim, you know?
Right.
Because like, certainly, I don't feel comfy claiming Los Angeles. I lived there for 12 years, but like I didn't grow up there, and I'm certainly not a Los Angelian. I was always like a Canadian in Los Angeles, but I don't really feel comfy claiming Toronto. One, because I don't know much about Toronto anymore, and two, because in high school was in King City.
Right.
So it's not like I was like GTA. I don't want to claim King City because that's more horses than people, and I'm allergic to horses.
But you impacted the music scene so wonderfully and full as you moved through it that like.
That's nice of you to say.
Well, a lot of people here claim you to Toronto.
That's nice of
you
them.
know?
I appreciate them
So there's
claiming me.
always
I'll claim them back.
There's always going to be this home vibe from Toronto for you, for
It
sure.
does feel homey. I feel like I do, although I do like admire people who like really, really rep like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm like my friend Nicole, who's amazing. Like she'll go on stage, like introduce herself, like, hey, my name's Nicole, I'm from Peru. And it's so sick to like really own it like that.
Rep
I only
that.
have that feeling. I envy that feeling.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's
I get
nice.
that.
It's a nice thing to have.
I'm a draftee. I came here. I'm from Vancouver. I met you just as I was sliding in, draftee, getting my Toronto vibe. So that's sick.
Hey,
Best food in LA?
sorry. No, go ahead.
Best food in LA?
I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, I had a thought while I was
Tell us your
in the
thought.
bathroom. I just wanted to know if you feel confident.
Overall?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sick.
That's so nice.
Yeah. I would say short answer, yes.
Did you always?
I always felt confident in some way, shape, or form.
Because of music, maybe? Like, because you knew you had that gift to share?
I definitely have always felt more confident after singing. I think part of the reason I even got into singing was because I really wanted to talk to people, but I didn't know how, and I realized if I went up on stage and sing, then afterwards they'd talk to me.
It's so good. You think, how can I contribute and serve and then, like, share this energy?
No, that was selfish. That was like, I want to talk to people. How can I make them talk to me? I'll go sing on stage first.
God, so you don't need, like, a higher perspective. You just need, like, a delicious desire. Just, like, do that
nice.
shit. That's sick.
I like the alliteration on delicious desire.
Go ahead.
I could certainly get into the nuances of when I don't feel confident, but I would say on a whole I feel pretty confident. I think dedicating your life to getting hundreds of millions of people to hear something you have to say is a pretty confident thing to dedicate your life to.
It's true.
I find it bizarre when people put so much work into having people hear what they have to say without figuring out what they have to say first.
Oh.
That was me before I became a comedian.
Is this too much? You won't understand.
Why not? Let's get crazy.
And yeah, I think I 100% agree with you. I think I wanted to be seen for like nothing or something. I don't really know. It's hard to really pinpoint what was going on. But when I look back, I'm like, oh, you had no substance. You didn't make any decisions for yourself. And you didn't try at all. You were just like, oh, be an actor and things will work out, you know? But I'm happy to say that I'm not in that place anymore.
That's nice. Being an actor sounds like such an identity crisis for me because you're celebrated for being someone else. That sounds terrifying.
I had a moment. I had a whole moment where I was like, I don't even know.
These are the cups from my childhood.
Are you serious?
They're in many episodes.
Bro, it's so legendary. How we shoot here. Like, that's just like your childhood
It's the
cup.
best.
I'm sorry it took me 222 episodes to get here.
I'm so grateful and pleasantly delighted to see you here and have
Yeah.
you here, bro. Thank you so much
And
for
it's only
blessing
been like
us.
100 episodes since we've been shooting here, so
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
It was, you know about progress. Like, when we started, it was...
So I said yes to this while I still had a podcast earlier in the day. I was going to do two, but then the one I was going to do earlier, I asked if they'd be comfortable with me talking about Palestine, and they said no. So I said I wasn't going to do it.
Oh, dude, fuck, respect. Stick to your morals. Anything you want to say is always welcome here.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
11.
That's
Yeah,
what
We do want open conversation here. That's very much a part of what this podcast
And
is.
if you can't take a little, like, if you don't want to shift your perspective to empathy to understand where someone is coming from without thinking it's a blanket statement that, like, because it's coming from an opposing side or the other side of what you currently subscribe to, like, that's not a balanced character trait. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about someone from the community being like, if you're not fucking guns blazing one side, it's like, Jesus, you don't understand, like, the humanity that's, like, going on in this situation and how it's an opportunity for us to, like, not react even so, like, viciously, violently. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think everyone's got a different role. I mean,
Yeah.
Changing the world's a team sport. We can't all fill the same. We can't all have the same job. I just feel like I have the. I have a very particular job on this one because I don't think there's been very many there's a lot of Jews who feel the way I do about this. There's a lot of anti-Zionist, a lot of pro-Palestinian Jews. There's not a lot of public figure Jewish pro-Palestinian voices. So I feel purposeful in both representing the Jewish community as advocating for how anti-Jewish it is to genocide of people, like very critically anti-Jewish.
It's such a bar.
Yeah, so I feel like, I feel purposeful in my identity being the grandchild of Holocaust survivors and saying, like, I am very much living in their footsteps to advocate for a free Palestine. So that's felt useful. I didn't even know if I was going to go into that podcast and talk some shit, but I just, wanted to make sure that if it came up, I could, and they didn't want me to, so.
Nice, yeah.
Here we are.
The barriers, fuck yeah. Well, cheers.
I don't like a conversation that can't exist in its whole context.
Bro, that's when we ask people are like, I mean, if there's anything ever that someone wants us to take out, and I'm like, no, but this is usually just like A to Z, straight conversation. How you feel is how you feel. It's part of your natural identity to want to express your imprint into the world.
It just isn't an artist's job to be careful.
Dude, that's
Like,
a clip.
If as an artist you are afraid to say the wrong thing, go be a fucking accountant.
I'm taking a lap for that.
Yo, you are calling me out hard this episode, JP. And I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
say the wrong thing, Winnie.
Ugh, I so don't want to.
You're allowed to say the wrong thing.
But I want to be loved.
You know how much people love people who say the wrong thing for saying the wrong thing?
Let's go.
All right, I'll try. I'll give it a
Because
try.
everyone wants to. Artists are supposed to be an example of what it means to live freely. And what it means to live freely means, like, getting fucking yelled at and being fine.
Yeah.
Now, there are some barriers that you have that make it harder than me. People yell at women more than they yell at men. So you likely will get yelled at for saying the wrong thing, and then you'll be fine. You'll also get so loved.
Okay.
Have you watched Fleabag?
Yes.
Okay,
loves
it's my favorite show ever.
It's the best show ever.
Yeah, favorite show ever. It's my favorite writing, favorite show. I watched
She's amazing.
I watched an interview with Phoebe Waller-Bridge where she said that she knows that a scene needs to stay in the edit if it scares her, because there's something real about it.
Yeah.
If it's frightening, and I use that same metric. If a thing scares me to say, I probably should. If a thing
Oh,
scares me to
boy.
sing, I probably should. It's just like, it's not fun. Like, art's not safe. It's like, it's boring. Safe is boring.
Yeah.
Safe is boring.
Yeah, that's definitely shouldn't be in that category for sure.
This has been so good for our souls.
Get messy.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta
I
be
do.
messy.
I want to embrace the mess.
Yeah.
I feel like a couple years ago, I actually really started to let go of that, like, people pleasing all the time. But it's just a process.
Yeah, no, it takes time. You gotta have some grace with yourself. It's not gonna happen all at
Yeah.
once. I'll give you an example. Like, two of my friends who also have a podcast, a pretty successful one. I went to see them do a live episode at the Beacon Theater in New York. The names are Brooke and Tana, and most of the conversation is like them talking about, like, anal and shitting themselves.
Sick. Love that. Yeah. We can get
Me
into
too.
some anal. I don't know.
And it's so messy. But I watched an audience of mostly teenage girls feel so empowered by watching women not exist for the male gaze, not exist as the sexualization of themselves, but just exist as, like, messy human people who are confident and proud of it. And sure, like, maybe poop stories is the mechanism, but it's not really about the shit. It's about, you can exist fully as yourself in your mess as a beautiful woman, and that is just so very not only allowed but applauded.
Yeah.
And it was really
Encouraged.
cool.
Hotties
it was really cool
poop.
to see that.
Hotties poop.
They do.
I just went there.
It's
I
really
mean, if healthy, every day.
yeah.
It's really cool to think about the kids coming up today. I have I run an energy exchange program at my yoga studio, and I have a 23-year-old on the program, and the way that she speaks and the language that she's using and how she's taking care of herself at such a young age, I'm like, we're gonna be fine.
Humanity.
I think, yeah, I
Yeah.
think things are gonna turn around. Would you consider yourself an optimist?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
Sick.
I would go as far as considering myself an idealist.
Ooh, yes.
I like that.
Like an optimist mixed with dreaming.
Yeah, like, not just I think things are going to go well. It's like I think things could be, like, so much fucking better than they are.
Yeah, that's what
But, like, an idealist An idealist with a side of like vengeance.
A little human in there.
Yeah, like I'm not just an idealist in that I'm saying like, oh, I think everything's gonna be wonderful and picturesque and all be okay. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be okay because we're gonna burn shit to the ground that isn't.
That isn't serving. Yeah, you gotta
Like
pluck
I'm
it
a
out.
fight for said ideals.
Well, you know,
Nice.
like forest
Show 'em.
fires, not in the mass that we've experienced them here in some parts of the world, but like they're really good. Like when they're naturally occurring, it because forests get so dense that nothing can grow because no light can shine in. So like a forest fire is really great for new growth.
Yeah,
So fuck yeah, burn it down.
and if America's a forest, a lot of it has to burn down.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
A big capitalistic forest.
We're just moving forward with a new energy on the earth, and it's great. It's great to see people live more in their holistic truth.
Yeah, there's different kinds of revolutions, right? There's the internal revolution, there's unlearning all of your built-in fuckery. There's,
Yeah.
the ayahuasca trips and the hippie shit and the just like, I'm going to unlearn my colonized soul. And that is beautiful. And then there's also like, I'm going to go out in the world and fuck shit up.
Facts.
And I'm going to say the wrong thing.
And use who I am to carry a message, and if it ruffles feathers, whatever, but be about who you feel.
I'm trying. Like, I really have been so inspired by so many people in my community who are doing so much more than I am. And I'm really just trying to find my role in all of it.
Yeah, for sure. But then, I mean, at the end of the day, too, like, you are an artist, like, so it's like you make your music, you build your craft, and, like, that's, you contribute
yeah.
to the world in
Yeah.
a lot of ways
I don't
outside of...
personally subscribe to the, like, hey, you're just an artist, make your art, you don't need to get involved politically, though. That one I actually don't buy.
No, I'm not saying on a virtue scale of like your association with the world. More so, I'm just feeling like I guess like
Purpose.
your
Yeah,
purpose
The
in your
purpose
life.
level.
Like
Yeah,
you know how you can access the world.
For sure.
I
feel very lucky. I feel like I have a lot of access to the world. I got to do a show in Kuala Lumpur this year.
What? Where's that?
That's the one that sticks out because it's not a place that I necessarily grew up thinking about.
Oh,
Like Kuala Lumpur, like capital of Malaysia. I'm gonna go play. I don't know if it's the capital. It's in Malaysia though.
Oh,
I'm
sick.
gonna go play there one day. I never really thought about that. So
Oh yeah, that's
Isn't
what
that
I
the
wanted
best?
to ask you. Is touring in my head, touring sounds very romantic.
it is,
Is it? Is it everything you thought it would be?
and more. I fucking love it. It's also like a lot of gas station dinners, but
that's right.
But they're pretty like
that
good.
can be romantic.
Yeah. Nice.
You can
okay,
feel
that-
a lot of joy eating a cheese string and watching Ted Lasso on a bus television.
Do you find yourself in moments? I can see how that was very descriptive, imaginative. I felt that in my brain. Do you find yourself in moments like in deep gratitude?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you take that? Do you take a second with that?
Yes.
Do you bask in that?
Yes. Although I have found that the biggest feelings come when that moment is shared, not when that moment is personal. For example, this anecdote is going to require a small moment of flexiness, if you will excuse me that. The first time I played Madison Square Garden, I had a moment at the end of the show where everyone was being very appreciative of what I had done. They were clapping very enthusiastically and standing up and shit. And there was a moment where I looked out in the crowd and I was like, whoa, like I'm getting a standing ovation from Madison Square Garden right now. And that was a big feeling. And then I looked to my left and saw my best friends side stage all being like, are you seeing this shit? That feeling was 10 times bigger. The looking to my left and being like, are you seeing this
shared
shit?
it.
With my friends made the feeling 10 times bigger.
Whoa.
So that's what I've learned about basking in it.
Interesting.
It is a
So you saw
collective.
others acknowledging and reflecting almost what you were feeling.
Well, they were feeling it too because they were
Yeah.
part of it. Like they had done that as much as I had. Like we had gotten there together. So the moment of it being shared was such a bigger feeling than the moment of it happening personally.
Do you know who Andrew Huberman is?
Yep.
I just, I don't, there's I never subscribe fully to anyone, I don't think, but I think when people give pieces, you can also choose to take what works. And he was saying gratitude is like the best feeling to cultivate when you're battling depression or whatever. But actually cultivating gratitude comes by like giving it, like have someone else be grateful for something that you've you've done for them. So like go and do something basically for people and have like that feeling of gratitude come from someone at you. And he's like, that's the easiest way to like step into that frequency.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, that really good ideas can similarly come from all kinds of different sources. And that's a good idea whether you learn it from Huberman or from AA or from your faith.
Yeah.
Like, you can get great takeaways from problematic sources.
You really can. You really can.
Do you feel like you received any guidance from your faith? Like, did you follow the practice of your religion growing up at all?
Yeah.
Yeah?
My favorite thing about Judaism is the real nurturing of curiosity.
Beautiful.
It's an inherently questioning faith that it's built into the rituals to ask questions, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think it informs the way I see the world in a really meaningful way.
It breeds like a critical thinker kind of.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
I think that is a nice thing to have built into a faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that is beautiful.
But I also could have learned that from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Be curious, not judgmental.
I love that show.
Me too. I met him the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was the best.
Oh my God. How did that
I
happen?
met him at a New York Liberty game. And ended up at his home after playing board games, and I was on his team. I hope it's okay that I'm telling this story. I was on his team, which meant that like he was coaching the team, which meant I was like essentially in an episode of Ted Lasso, and it was like yeah.
You're basically that Latin guy because you're learning Latin on the team.
And I see how you got there.
Soccer is life,
I see how you
baby.
got there.
Soccer.
So I was just like on
Love
this.
that
I was
guy.
on this
Believe.
board game team being coached by Jason Sudeikis, and
That's so sweet.
it was awesome.
So congratulations.
surreal.
I kept it together, and I think I was a good teammate.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, fuck.
What
Did
a
you do
lovely,
sports
lovely
ever?
man.
Like,
Yeah, I did do sports.
yeah.
You play basketball over
Do you
there.
like sports?
I love sports.
Nice.
Yeah, I really do. I honestly think I learned more that is relevant to my job now as an artist entrepreneur from playing baseball and basketball than I ever did from a music class.
What did you learn? Give me something.
Music is a team sport.
Yeah.
Being an artist is a team sport, even as a quote unquote solo artist. Like,
Yeah.
there's like 50 people that I need.
Yeah.
And making those 50 people feel an ownership and feel empowered and feel like they're working on something that is their passion. Like, this works because a lot of people are working on it as their own dream.
Oh my God, yes. And you get to like represent the kind of like lead of that, but they're all contributing in their own capacities that fulfill them.
Yes, another thing I learned recently on the topic of the very polarizing subject of whether to or to not hire your friends. Because there's definitely a don't hire your friends camp and a only hire your friends camp.
For sure.
And I'm very, very firmly in the only hire your friends camp.
Yeah.
But a little element of that I have recently learned is that it works if you're hiring your friends to do what they love.
Yes. Don't try and shift them away from.
Then it doesn't work. But if you're hiring them to do what they love, then it works fucking amazingly.
Yeah, you're helping them fulfill their purpose in a better way. Like creating that opportunity. That's so sick. You and TJ on stage is so cool.
Yeah, because TJ's doing what he loves.
Yeah.
So I get to like work with my best friend.
Yeah. And like he gets to just like slay and like it's just beautiful. Everyone's forward together.
I find my ambition is sourced from three main places. One of them is seeing my friends' dreams attached to mine because I'm not narcissistic enough I'm a little bit narcissistic, but not enough to only derive my ambition from myself. So seeing my friends' dreams attached to my success is a real motivator for me.
Oh, yes.
So that's one source of ambition. I find a
cool.
source of ambition in believing that the more of a voice I have, I will use it for important things. I get frustrated when I see really famous people like opting out of important conversations, and I trust myself that with 100 million people listening, I would still say what I believe. So that's motivating for me to put myself in the position of voices that I'm frustrated aren't used properly.
Well said.
And then the third one is I want to be really fucking famous
Sick.
because I think it'd be fun.
It is fun. I love that you've become okay with that dream. So many people would look at that dream and either think, too big for me, or there's something wrong with that. But you're like, fuck yeah, I do dope shit.
Yeah,
People,
pleasure.
like, I deserve it. Like,
I think it would be fun. Like when I hang out with my like really famous friends, who I like only made friends with so I could commodify the relationship, obviously.
Been there.
And when I when I hang out with them, and I see that like we'll be in public and people will walk up to them and ask for photos, and like sure that's like good for your ego, but what it always makes me think is like, yo, you just like made that person's whole fucking day with
1000%.
20 seconds of your time,
1000%.
and that's a superpower.
That's
If you
power.
can make someone that happy with 15 seconds of your life,
1000%.
that consistently, like that's a power that I want. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, I know it's cool. I watch it and I think it's cool.
I'm with you on that. Cheers to that.
And
Fuck
you
yeah.
do it too. Like you're making people's day 15 seconds at a time. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen like everywhere I go,
Fine.
but from time to time I get
Yeah.
a little pat on the back like I'm doing something right.
That raises constantly the power you have to like people more frequently wanting to come up and get that blessing of just seeing you in a minute.
Yeah.
You do have a very humble approach, though. We were chatting earlier, and it's like you've done, I believe, Madison Square Garden now. You've done all these
Never
big-
headlined.
Never headline, not yet.
I've opened for John Mayer there 3 times, and I played there with Camila last week.
So sick.
So we need this. We're getting you
There we
on
go.
Love Is Blind.
Blind, blind,
and
Madison Square Garden headlining.
That's it.
I think that's the
what's
path.
coming.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's your trajectory.
That's the you can never see that.
Or
coming,
Love
but-
Island.
And fucking, but you did when you were in. Remind me where you were. You did like a smaller coffee shop kind, or just it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. When
You
we
did
were
some smaller
promoting,
shows.
we were promoting the last album. We did some pop-up shows.
And that's so
Where I
cool.
was just like, I would post on IG like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here in 2 hours," and then people would show up.
So real. So I mean, like those people who came to see you for sure. You like made their like last time they seen you on Instagram, you were in like a stadium, and then like you still like connected and went through a grounded process.
I love
of
that shit. I really.
You're the real deal to show up for that, man. Like that's a lot. That's very cool.
I mean, it worked because it made you think that.
see, there's even something going on behind the scenes. You're honest about it.
Can I?
No, I did genuinely love doing it.
I know.
Those things do make me happy.
I know.
Yes.
Because you've
That's
been
so
like
cool.
that.
And I get to make friends.
Like when I was
Especially if I'm like in a new place. Like I think the last one was in Lima. Like people who fuck with my music usually are people that would be my friends because it's not like I'm making pandering music for teenagers. Like I'm making music for us.
yeah.
So usually, in the same way that I share music taste with most of my friends, like I love my own music. So usually, if people like it, also they're people who would be my friends. So the cheat code of those shows is I get to be in a new city that I've never been to before, and I get to post on IG, and then 400 people show up. Thank you. 400 people show up to a venue that would probably be my friends if I lived in that city.
Y'all fuck
But
with
like,
each other.
how long would it take for me to find 400 people if I wasn't singing?
Community.
Yeah, it would take so long.
And you just get to.
It's a cheat code. It's a community cheat code. I get to
So-
like play a show in Indianapolis and then meet the 1,000 people in Indianapolis who would be my homies if I lived there.
Yo, that is truly it. You're on a vibrational. I have this theory that like Earth is like a spirit school, a school for spirits. Like learn how to manifest and like transmit and receive like a signal of energy and vibration. Like that just seems like like a being that would like go to areas and like and like their energy and then like attract their community. It's like identifiable. It's like an identifiable vibe. Like you're saying, like you feel these people would be your friend. It's like they're resonating with you. Flippy floppy ring.
I'm kicking it away. I shouldn't be fidgeting with it anyway. It's broken. I don't want to break it more.
That's so fantastic.
You're gonna fix it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna fix it.
We got a guy.
I have another question.
Uh-huh.
In your business,
Uh-huh.
there is this process of writing, okay, baby, and then recording, and then touring with that. Like that feels like the kind of like the whole holistic work of a musician or a recording artist. And I may be wrong because I'm not.
Those
it.
things exist. There's also like a lot of things in mixed in. But
Mixed
those
into
three
that.
things are there.
Okay, cool.
Big pillars.
And then okay, this'll. Is there a favorite part of this process, or does it all hold your heart in wonderful different ways that you wouldn't be able to choose a fave?
I mean, the two best parts are the making of the song and then the sharing of the song. Having people's attention and getting to give them something that I love is really joyful. The work, if any of it is work, the work of it is getting people's attention. I have learned that there's a really dramatic difference between making something worthy of people's attention and getting people's attention. It's a different skill set. The craft of making something worthy of attention is a different craft than getting people's attention. And there are artists who are really good at one or the other, and very few that are good at both. And I'm sure we could name plenty of artists that we think are very, very good at the craft of making something worth people's attention and not necessarily fantastic at the craft of getting people's attention. And I'm sure we can name plenty of artists who
Yeah.
are great at the craft of getting people's attention and not necessarily the craft of making something worth it.
How many can we name that do both?
Plenty.
Oh, okay.
The ones you know of.
But like, yes.
The ones you know of.
Right,
The
right.
ones who can do both are like the biggest
the
artists.
ones that are doing it, great.
Yeah.
Pull up, yeah, Spotify. And you've joined musics in the high-ranking stakes just like through this amazing time in music too. Like,
It is a good time to be a musician. I wouldn't want to be a musician in any other era.
right?
I wouldn't choose any other.
Like when you started, we're still printing CDs,
Yeah.
and now it's fully streamable.
Yeah.
Like that whole internet shuffle of the world.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of really messed up elements of the music industry, and I think a lot of things that hopefully will be fixed and addressed. But I still think there were more fucked up things in every other era.
Fair, yeah, absolutely.
It's why I don't get like petulant or like pissed off about like, oh shit, I have to market on TikTok. Like the way artists like get really tripped up about that. Like, sure, that isn't always fun, but also I would rather have the job of marketing myself on TikTok than have there be 6 old white dudes at record labels deciding whose music is worth hearing. And if you're not one of the people they choose, you don't get to have a career.
Yeah, fuck, facts, big bars. Well said, love that.
And I have one of those dudes as the president of my record label who believes I should be one of those people. And if we were in a music industry 30 years ago, I'd probably have an easier time because he'd just be like, on the radio now.
Yeah.
So I think the artists who complain about having to do the work are the artists who know that they would be the ones who were picked.
Ooh.
But like I do think there's such a more diverse landscape of voices and artists and people like building careers because it is a problematic democracy of music discovery, but a democracy nonetheless. And I think that's the reason I wouldn't pick any other time.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is an interesting space of music discovery. I feel like there's still gatekeepers in the way of playlisting, editorials.
There are
There's always going to be, right?
But not in it. But like you can, if you know how to get people's attention and you've made something worth it, you can find your audience.
That's what we're saying.
Just
Speaking of your audience, I was looking you up this morning, and I'm interested if you wouldn't mind talking about Join Sesh.
the platform.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. It's like it's essentially like an online community that you can have with fans where they essentially have like you only follow a few artists on it. So it's really just a platform for your favorite artists. Like you don't follow like 1,000 the way you would on Instagram. You'd follow maybe like 2 to 5.
Oh, cool.
You pick your favorite artists, you follow them, and then you have like direct communication with them, and you get to have streaming parties. And
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. What does that include?
It's like a Discord.
Direct communication.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So that like I think like 800 or 900 people on there that are just like they're the people who give the biggest shit about my music.
The
That's
core
so
fans,
cool.
the core.
And I use them as like a resource for me. It's like I use them to inform the moves I'm making.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're like very core team. That's a cool platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really engaging.
The opportunity at this time, as you said, for artists to like leverage tools like that for community building are so cool. What was that like watching the kind of like flower bloom for you of like people who you knew you were making art that was worthwhile, and you were definitely scooping game and building the team in your time in LA and figuring out how to build that brand? That must have been amazing to see people kind of start more showing up for you.
Yeah.
What was that process like of like watching that? Do you have any identifiable traits from your community?
It definitely happened in a pretty dramatic way because it was pre-COVID, post-COVID. So post-COVID, I came out into a world where I had a lot more people paying attention than I had when I went into lockdown. Whoa. So that was somewhat dramatic. Because like my biggest songs happened during COVID.
You return
Whoa.
to the world as like everything changed.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool.
But the fun adventure of that was that people met my songs without really meeting me. So then my songs had this whole life, and I had to be like, wait up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so then you got to introduce yourself.
I'd be like, it's me, I sing that shit.
That's me, this kid.
So I feel like I'm still very much doing that. Like my music is more famous than I am.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So I'm just chasing after it.
Catching up, baby. Yeah.
Is
It's a
there-
beautiful marriage.
Is there a song that you love to perform live more than others?
There's a song of mine called Tension, which I really love performing live. It's always fun. It comes right after a song called What Keeps Me From It, which I also love performing live. I don't know. It's usually my favorite live is whatever the one people are singing along the loudest to. I'm all for the communal experience.
I loved
That
at the
was special.
Rivoli. Yeah, it was just
I love that y'all
everyone.
still remember that.
Yeah, no, the
was
recent
so-
one too. But I remember the
Rivoli,
old school
like the-
Rivoli.
Like, oh yeah, like the album release party Rivoli.
Just here,
The
yeah.
one when we had like the secret show.
Yeah. But also, I do remember your old school Rivoli days for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I love you even told a story on stage here. You're like, back then I had to like fucking beg for the kid. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and now it's like it's fucking chill. What were you saying though?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the singing back. The people
Oh yeah,
singing,
the singing.
back.
Yeah, that must be a wild experience.
Like words you wrote, people like.
That shit's so fun.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
and like covers and stuff I see of people online.
Also very
That's
fun.
so cool. Yeah.
That's so good.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thanks,
bro.
team. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'm so
That's-
happy to see the beautiful fulfillment of like
Thanks,
you
Ellevan.
giving your music to the world.
I
And
appreciate you both.
it's gonna be so exciting also to watch you get really fucking famous.
I'm giving it my all.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate what y'all doing. It's cool what you're building in here. I appreciate you looking out for my dad.
Oh, he's the man, bro.
We
He's
love
like,
hanging
yeah,
out with
man.
him.
He's the
He's
bro.
the best.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yo, usually recently, fuck, I don't know if we have the budget for this, but usually we've been closing with a freestyle. Do you want
Like a freestyle rap.
to, or sing, or skibbity bebop boops, whatever.
I'm usually the most creative when I have like a large amount of time to like overanalyze it.
Fair enough.
I don't have your gift of
I
off
just
the cuff.
I just wanted to offer.
But
It-
if you go for it, I'll try and finish a sentence.
let's go.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we have the piano.
You freestyle something and then you just like end a line early and I'll. You're gonna do it to music?
Yeah, just throwing a beat.
Okay, fine. But then I have to do it in time.
Is that not cool?
Why limit yourself by time? Be a spoken word artist.
No music?
I think then we can be all like low tempo.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll do it like a haiku vibe.
Yeah, I love a haiku. I'm sorry I'm determining the creativity you're about to
No,
exemplify, but
it's a collaborative moment. It's not, yeah.
Do like an off the cuff spoken word poem.
1000%.
I'll try and finish some sentences.
Okay. They tell him he's changed. He's made his own way.
Uh-huh.
Incredibly brave. What I'm finna say, man, I seen you rock a stage from way back in the ricket day. And what can we say for Toronto? Went and covered up your dreams open like a poncho. Yeah, and I got Ellevan here with a raw flow.
You took all the A rhymes, but I guess you pivoted to an O rhyme, so I could like rock with the O rhyme.
O rhyme, flow time, go I'm online, waiting guys, high five. Crazy dude to know. Hit LA, rocked at Babyface's studio,
Cool, that was good.
and away we go. And I'm saying that you rocking hard as Slayer. Who's the guitarist on your tour? Probably John Mayer.
It's really good.
Feels really good when y'all come together. But TJ out here, light as a feather forever. Come on, Bridget.
I really should have like a chorus or something.
Yeah.
I should like hit it. I should hit a chorus. That's like usually within my skill set.
It's time.
Wait, give me the words to the chorus.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been quite the ride.
Okay. It's been quite the ride. Then what?
I've found my light.
I found my light.
And the time is always right
And the time is always right
to say what you really feel.
to say what you really feel. There you go. We did it. Wow. Don't leave me hanging.
I'm sorry. Bless you. Thank you, man.
Old times.
All the good
so
times,
much.
bro. Appreciate you.
Do you want to leave the people with anything else?
Nah. They can figure it out for themselves.
Nice.
That's the bars, yo. JP Saxe, go find him. Go listen to his music. It's incredible. It will soothe you.
New album 2025.
New album 2025. I'm so excited to see the new man that you are.
Here's my hint. Here's my like Easter egg hint on the new album. It's about something I've never written about before.
It's about
Big
something
stuff.
you've never written about before. We're going to uncover new rocks. We're going to find new parts of you. It's been such a pleasure and an honor to see you
Go
grow,
team, go.
to know you as a guy, to see you do your thing as a music, and keep bringing that light to the world, brother. Thank you.
Sick.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Peace. Subscribe.
Thank you.
So good.
Welcome to Discipline Stoners, the gateway drug to mindfulness.
Look deeper.
To think that we started this podcast to fight a stigma, only to uncover so much love that we realized that you can't put your energy anywhere but what you want. And what we want is authentic conversation. What we want is quality medicine. What we enjoy is each other.
We get to learn from our guests. Manage the best. I would manifest this.
Part of the magic of the plant is how it uncovers what you've been hiding away.
So much love.
Look deeper. Feel more. Tune in.
So much love. Look deeper.
We're not here to be lazy.
Welcome to Disciplined Stoners.
We're not here to distract ourselves.
The gateway drug to mindfulness.
We're here to learn. We're here to grow.